Good morning and welcome to Daybreak Fraser Valley Weekend. I'm Kelli Padden.
And I'm Bradley Jeanette.
Our guest this week is Clint Istace of Abbotsford, here to talk to us about his new unique wrestling program, as well as Rage Against Depression and his own personal journey. So I'm ready to learn a lot more.
Natalie Bedard returns with a new episode of Total Wellness, sponsored by River Crest Contracting Ltd. And the news you need to know from the past week, courtesy of Tara and Black Press Media. And also our picks for Fraser Valley events happening this weekend.
It's all coming up now. Welcome back. Bradley, how was your week?
My week was pretty quiet. I had lots of meetings, but I did get to hang out with my favorite coworker.
Oh, who's that?
Who is that?
It's me. Yeah, we got together and we did some planning for Daybreak. There were snacks.
There were great snacks, and we have lots of plans.
We've got lots of really fun plans. And if you have any ideas for Daybreak, or if you want to maybe be on the show and have a little fun with us, make sure to comment or reach out, and we'll work you right in.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's switch to the news this week, brought to you by the fine reporting of Black Press Media journalists starting in Abbotsford. Here, where the Abbotsford Police recently released data on impaired driving, revealing that last year saw a drastic spike in commuting while impaired. Yikes. Okay, so Brandon Tucker of the Abbey News reported over 1,200 impaired drivers were removed from Abbotsford streets in 2025, which is up a whopping 42%. So that's a really huge increase in 1 year. 2024 had been more or less in line with the past 2 years before that. Police did step up enforcement efforts last year, so it's really unclear whether the increase is because of a more substantial enforcement effort or whether there were other factors at play, like a hard economy and more drinking and driving.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't like it either. Maybe it's just the enforcement, in which case we should see the numbers kind of go down a little bit.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Out here in Chilliwack, we have some awesome news. Jessica Peters of The Progress reported Chilliwack ski cross champion Reese Howden is headed to the Olympics with Team Canada.
Yay.
A roster of 20 ski cross and alpine skiing athletes was announced this week by Alpine Canada and the Canadian Olympic Committee. Reese and the others will compete at the Milano Cortina 2026 Olympic Winter Games starting in just a couple weeks.
That was a mouthful.
That was a mouthful. Reese Howden earned 3 FIS Crystal Globes, 2021, 23, and 25, for finishing atop the World's Cup rankings. So this is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
All right, go Reese. More congratulations now. Corny Quick of Quick's Farm Limited was named British Columbia and Yukon's Outstanding Farmer for 2026. According to Jenna Hawk of The Progress, Canada's Outstanding Young Farmers Program is an annual competition that recognizes farmers who exemplify excellence in their profession and highlight agriculture's vital contribution. This according to the press release from BC Yukon Outstanding Young Farmers. Quick was presented with the award just this past weekend at the Pacific Agricultural Show at the Abbotsford Tradex.
Fantastic.
Yeah, congratulations.
Adam Lewis of the Harrison Observer reports 2 lost hikers and their dogs stuck on Frigid Bear Mountain are safe and sound thanks to search and rescue volunteers. Kent Harrison Search and Rescue started the search Saturday evening after the hikers lost their way down and ended up in a gully on the east side of the mountain, Bear Mountain Trail, so it's near Harrison. North Shore Rescue, based in Vancouver, even lent a hand providing a nighttime hoist. They spotted the hikers and their dog on a steep slope and were able to successfully extract them from the area.
How scary, but huge thanks, as always, to first responders.
Huge.
Yeah, search and rescue, such an important group of volunteers. So, yeah.
We don't think about them till we need them.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, but Chilliwack Search and Rescue this weekend on January 31st is actually having an open house because they're looking for more volunteers. So just take a look. It was in the Progress. You can find it. Get the information.
There you go.
Okay. So now, I remember in Hope, we reported on this last year. The District of Hope is considering replacing Memorial Park's flag of Taiwan with a sign to represent the city of Taipei after facing federal pressure. Kimon Moodley of the Hope Standard reports that according to Mayor Victor Smith, during council meeting this week, the district is getting pressure from the Canadian government to remove the Taiwanese flag from the international signposts at Memorial Park. To comply with the federal government, district staff is suggesting that council send a letter to the People's Republic of China explaining that the flag will be replaced with the sign representing Taipei, the capital of Taiwan. At the meeting, council agreed to endorse this letter and sign it. Interesting to see international diplomacy being navigated at a hyper-local level, and it all started with a picture taken by a tourist.
The power of the internet.
The power of the internet, yeah. Okay.
That's it.
That's it for the news this week, thanks to Black Press and your amazing reporting in the Fraser Valley.
After the break, we have Chris Istace. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and welcome to Clint Istace, not Chris. If you heard Chris, blame the teleprompter guy. This is Clint Istace. Welcome to Daybreak, Fraser Valley Weekend. Thanks for coming in, and we'd like to get to know you a little bit.
Okay, perfect. We'll have a chat and see what comes about here.
Sounds good.
All right, so first question, hard-hitting. You're a Valley guy, right?
I am. I lived in Chilliwack for over 20 years, and before that was Abbotsford for 5.
Okay. Well, really excited to have you on the show. You reached out to us, and you've got quite a story, and it's pretty inspirational, and you're doing a lot of work to share the story. So can you tell us a little bit about why you're here, about what your motivation is?
Well, back in 1999, I started professional wrestling. I wrestled as Rage, and all over the Pacific Northwest, right across Canada, right to Newfoundland, down to Portland, and so forth. But then, for whatever reason, kind of got stuck at the border and couldn't get my work visa down there. So we started up our own company called Top Ranked Wrestling in Abbotsford. Ran for about 3 years and then kind of just stepped aside, wasn't making any money and so forth. Had it on Bellingham KVOS. And since then I retired, obviously, right after that, and joined Federal Corrections, so Correctional Service of Canada, working out in Agassiz and also in Abbotsford. And during that period of time, 14 years and several incidences, I developed PTSD, depression, and anxiety. So I had at least a rough 7 years, and I've just been battling back from that and using mostly gym therapy to release serotonin, dopamine, and endorphins, get those feel-good chemicals going, and just kind of rebuild myself. So I'm still at that process right now. It might even be a little bit of overcompensation, but I'm starting up my wrestling company again from scratch right here in Chilliwack, only for Chilliwack.
All right, so a few things I'd love to unpack with you there. First of all, you'll notice my new borrowed
Bling.
accessory. Yeah, so we want to talk about the belts that you brought in, definitely, but also take a minute just to talk about PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, and can show up in a lot of different ways. It interrupts your sleep, it interrupts your life, it interrupts your ability to cope with different things, and really serious and often misdiagnosed or misunderstood mental health issue. And you talked about corrections, so like critical incident stress, that kind of thing. I know that there's a lot of corrections officers and probation officers and first responders that struggle with that, to name a few, but nobody's immune. So how is that translating for you? You said you're doing gym therapy. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, basically, I kind of reached a point where, like, to be real honest, I was suicidal for quite some time, to the point where even at the moment I didn't even open my eyes in the morning. Before I opened my eyes, I would be thinking about suicide. And almost 7 years of that, in and out of it. It was like flashes of lightning in the darkness saying, just kill yourself. It was bad. Then it got less and less and less, but the reason it got to be less was obviously because of the therapy and so forth that I was going through with WorkSafe BC. And then second off was I went back to the gym after 10 years of not being there and started working on myself physically. And like I said, those feel-good chemicals that are naturally released in our brain from exercise, that's what I found was helping me the most. That's where I felt like I was myself again, at least for that 1 hour. And when I'd walk out, I was far more social and so forth, right? Other than that, I totally isolated myself, locked myself up, and I had a little bit of a drinking problem for a while, which I've virtually overcome. So I'm always working on myself one way or another. Picked up some bodybuilding shows because I was trying to teach on Instagram to make your comeback greater than your setbacks. Because I wanted to live that motto for my own life and live, right? And so I felt like if I could just share my story with other people along the way, so I thought I'll just take this right to the upper height of it and do at least one bodybuilding show. So I went through that process, hired a coach, did a bodybuilding show, won my division. And then just since, I've just been sharing that exact same message, use the gym therapy to help combat as one of the additional tools to help combat PTSD, anxiety, and depression.
Yeah, and you did that, you mentioned therapy. Like, are you talking about traditional talk therapy? I'm sure you worked with a doctor, therapist.
A lot of counseling.
Yeah, it takes a whole approach, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and endorphins. I mean, Elle Woods said that exercise releases endorphins. Endorphins make you happy, and happy people don't kill their husbands. To quote another expert. So I'm very glad that you're here. I would love for you to tell us about this comeback, which is greater than your setback. Right? The top-ranked wrestling. This is happening right here in Chilliwack, right?
Yeah, we're bringing it back to the Fraser Valley after 20 years of having it on the shelf. Going to be February 21st at the Air Cadets building, and tickets are available on Eventbrite or at the door. It's a family-friendly event, so there's no alcohol, and it's kids 10 and under are free. So we're really trying to encourage the youngsters to get out. It's great family fun. It's something that people haven't been to in a long time. Everybody says, "Oh, I grew up watching some television," or "My grandma watched wrestling," and so forth, right? Because we all grew up with it, and then just trying to bring it back to rekindle a little bit of life. And it's just such a awesome live event because you're actually part of the production, being in those smaller venues under 300 people.
Yeah, and so here we're calling you Clint, but when you're doing wrestling, it's Rage, right?
Yeah, we need to know about Rage.
Yeah.
We need to know about
Where
Rage.
does Rage come from?
I was Rage. Well, the most people's wrestling characters are almost a byproduct of who they are. They're their alter ego. So for me, kind of a guy with small man's complex growing up in the 80s, I had a bit of a temper. But in reality, what I taught through Indigenous healing is that, or what I learned through Indigenous healing is that most men don't ever deal with their emotions. I never dealt with my emotions. So the one emotion I was able to present to protect myself at all points in time was anger.
Yeah.
So that's Rage. So just for character's sake, that's my character, the nice guy, the normal guy, and gets picked on by the bigger bullies, and then he rages up and gets angry.
He rages up like the Hulk.
Lets him have him, yeah.
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 Okay, well, I'm excited. February 21st at the Royal Canadian Air Cadets building on Princess. And you said tickets are $30 each. Kids under 10 are free.
Yes.
All right, so I guess the final question is the bling. Can you tell me about these beautiful pieces that you brought in and how a person gets one?
Oh, boy. Well, you have to win via a count of three, where the referee takes his hand and slaps the mat 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or a submission. So if somebody slaps the claw on your forehead, it squeezes real tight, right?
So you worked hard to earn both of these, and I appreciate that you let me borrow this one.
I had them made. I've not earned either of these.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
I'm the promoter, and hopefully...
Is this for, coming up?
Yeah, both belts are going to be decided. That's the heavyweight title. This is a cruiserweight title. And hopefully I don't have to wrestle. I'm 55 years old. I'm supposed to be retired, and I'll be in big trouble on my home front if I jump in that ring.
I bet. But what I'm hearing is these are available.
They are.
Okay.
Yep.
So not for somebody who's 5'2" and doesn't wrestle, but
February 21st.
February 21st.
Someone's getting the belts.
Someone's getting each of those belts.
Each of the belts.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I warmed it up for you, so I'm really excited to hear how it goes. I hope it's a wild success. Anything else that people should know about the work that's happening either with wrestling or mental health-wise? Any words you want to get out there?
Well, just to mention, we have a couple of sponsors there. Popeyes is going to be there. Chris from... So Popeyes is going to be they're going to set up their table and give away shirts and so forth, right, and do their promoting there. And then also at the same time, we'll have some giveaways from Chris across the street at Dead Man Works Tattoo. I believe he's going to offer up a free tattoo at that event. And then there's a clothing company that's coming in that's going to be giving out some clothing, so maybe one package or maybe multiple. So also gym passes from Anytime Fitness, things like that.
Okay.
So I want to make sure that everybody leaves and the bulk of the people won something that night or were given something, right? So I really want to build a community event over time, maybe with the Derby girls, the NWO girls, maybe with the fair, whoever, right? And car shows, food trucks. I'd really like to do something for Chilliwack at least once a year.
Okay, so it sounds like it's a growing thing. There will be clothes, merch, bling. It sounds like a fantastic event.
Sounds like a lot of fun. We love our swag.
Okay.
All right, so thanks so much for being here. Yeah, we appreciate what you're doing. Wish you the best of luck, Bradley.
Yeah, absolutely. And after the break, we have Natalie Bedard of Total Wellness, sponsored by River Crest Contracting Ltd, segments giving us some tips.
Absolutely.
Some tips for wellness. And we really appreciate you coming in and just talk about your journey.
Well, thank you for
Thanks so
having me.
much. Thanks for sharing too.
Oh, yes, no problem. That's what I do. I'm an open book.
Let's reduce the stigma together, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right, we'll be right back.
Hi there, it's Natalie Bedard, fitness, nutrition, and mindset coach. And here we are, wrapping up the beginning of the new year. And many of you, went in full steam ahead on your New Year's resolutions, which is great. And some of you didn't, which is also great. So we talked about that last time. But this message is for those of you that went out full speed ahead and then you might find yourself fizzling. We see this every year. This is normal. And why it happens is because typically we take on too much. We do a complete 180 of our life and then we can't sustain it. Now is the time when we start to crash out. We're burning out. We're feeling like I'm failing at this. I can't sustain this. And then the shame spiral starts. So I'm going to give you some tips so that you can keep the momentum, but maybe not at the pace that you started out with. The way you create sustainable solutions is to not overhaul your entire life. So maybe you started off that way, it started off fun, it's not so fun now. Instead of quitting altogether, we're going to take a deep breath and then you're going to narrow your focus. So what we want to do is pare it down to think about all the things that you're trying to do. More steps, more water, less screens, better sleep, mindfulness. You're doing all the things. Think about one or two that are the most important to you. And we're going to narrow the focus onto those. So when we're looking at the goals that we've chosen for ourselves and we've narrowed the focus, now we want to peacefully strive towards them. So this means that you're holding the goal kind of like you would a bird. You're firmly but gently holding it. So you're giving yourself grace. You get to do these things. You don't have to. So losing the white knuckling, I've got to do this perfectly, versus I'm going to do my best with these two things. And if I don't do it perfectly, it's okay. And asking yourself, what's the minimum I can do? And you hear me say this all the time. I always come back to minimums. On your worst day, what is the thing that you can do to move the needle forward with those goals? So if what you started in January isn't working for you now, then it's time to refocus. It does not mean you failed. All we need to do is restructure, adjust the plan, and start again with a new focus and maybe a little more gentle kindness and compassion towards ourselves. So let this be your mantra. Slow down, progress steadily, slowly, with peaceful consistency, and carry your goals through for the rest of 2026.
welcome back. I cannot believe January is over already.
Only 11 months till Christmas.
I knew you were going to do that. What are you up to this weekend?
This weekend is, it's going to be self-care weekend. Kind of quiet.
What does that mean?
I need a pedicure, bad.
Okay. I need to do my homework. Maybe I'll put eye patches on while I do it and call it self-care.
We're not very exciting.
No. I might transplant some plants, and like putting your hands in soil, there's supposed to be some kind of chemical reaction.
Therapeutic.
Yeah, so self-care, that's what it'll be. But February is going to be a very busy month with Valentine's Day, Family Day, and our Daybreak chillTV Kind Crew fundraising for Ann Davis Transition Society as part of the coldest night of the year. So that's on February 28th. You can donate to our team. You can join our team and come walk with us and raise money. It's gonna be exciting.
I'd love some friends to come walk with us.
Yeah, all friends on deck. So the more the merrier. If you need the link, it will be somewhere in the comments in the post. I don't know. We'll make sure you get it. But that's gonna be exciting.
It is going to be exciting. Okay. So this weekend there's lots going on. Starting in Abbotsford today, 1 p.m. all weekend long, head over to TradeX at the Fraser Valley Home and Backyard Living Expo. Described as the Fraser Valley's premier building, renovation, and decor event. Admission is free.
We love free.
It's always appreciated, yes. There'll even be seminars featuring Brian Minter on creating fabulous containers. You might want to go to that.
I do that, yeah.
Mistakes to avoid doing kitchen renos, and 3 ways to determine your personal style.
Ask Bradley and he'll tell you.
We kind of have the same personal style this week, don't we?
We kind of do. Okay, I'm learning something. All right, something a little different to spotlight in Chilliwack this week. The Muay Thai Gladiators are back at Evergreen Hall tomorrow night with 10+ Muay Thai fights scheduled starting at 6 p.m. with the Western Canadian Muay Thai title fight sanctioned by Muay Thai BC at the top of the bill. Sorry, I just learned the word, and I wanted to see how many times I could work it in, and the answer is a lot.
A lot.
A lot. All right, elephant in the room, what is Muay Thai? It's Thailand's national sport of boxing, utilizing 8 points of contact. So fists, elbows, knees, shins, kind of like us under the table during some of these interviews. Maybe not for everyone, maybe a questionable date, but to each their own.
It sounds fun to me.
I think it sounds fun, yeah.
Switching to the arts, tomorrow night at the Harrison Memorial Hall on Esplanade. Come out for a night of great music and community fun in support of the Harrison Festival Society. This is the first annual music bingo fundraiser, bringing together laughs, friendly competition, and a lively soundtrack, all while raising funds for the 47th annual Harrison Festival of the Arts this July. It'll consist of 2 one-hour music bingo games with a 20-minute intermission, as well as a silent auction. And I love a silent auction.
We love a silent auction.
We do.
What is music bingo?
I'm not really sure, but we could probably go and find out.
We could. And it's a good cause.
Absolutely.
All right. So in Hope, the Hope Icebreakers face Nanaimo tomorrow night starting at 7:30 at the Hope Recreation Center on 6th Avenue. And don't forget to wear your bandanas stripped down to your trousers, if that's appropriate, because that's right. It's Rambo night. You go because you love hockey, but if the game doesn't live up to it, you can people watch all the Rambos.
That's a thing.
It's a thing. It's a Hope thing.
Okay. How about Langley? Let's go out to Langley. This looks like a lot of fun. Starting this past Wednesday and continuing Wednesday through Saturdays for the next couple of weeks, a theater in the country on Glover Road in Langley.
Oh. Charlie's Aunt.
Charlie's Aunt, a classic British farce when 2 Oxford students invite their sweethearts to meet Charlie's wealthy aunt from Brazil. You can even do it over dinner, though you don't have to, but what a great date night. Tickets at theaterinthecountry.com.
Theater in the country. Okay, I love it. All right, so that's a wrap. Thank you so much to Clint Istace for being on the show this week. He reached out to us on Facebook and we really just loved the story. So if you have something you think we should share, please let us know. The best way is through Messenger on chillTV's Facebook page.
Thanks to Natalie Bedard for more great total wellness for 2026, sponsored by River Crest Contracting Ltd. And thank you all for watching and have a fabulous Fraser Valley weekend.